Coach Lance here with CFSJ's Inside the Box. Whether you have tight times or tight spaces, we've got you covered. What you're about to follow along with is a 1-hour class shrunk into a 10-minute video. How do we do it? We create pause points, we write out equipment lists, and we give you substitution options to where there is zero thought on your part. So whether you have a hotel room, a hotel gym, or you're lucky enough to be outside, we're going to give you that great CFSJ feel when you're not at CFSJ. So let's take a look at the equipment list. Most of the times fairly minimal, and a lot of times you can substitute these things for things you have around your house, whether it be a water bottle or a filled up backpack. So let's go ahead and grab your phone, let's check out this equipment list, and let's get going. Every class, we're going to start off with 2 minutes of cardio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike or a rower or a treadmill or the outside, let's go ahead and do 2 minutes of rowing or jogging or biking. If you don't have that, then let's start off with some jumping jacks, some step back burpees, some double unders, or some other method of your choice that you can do in the tight space that you're in. If you need a suggestion, let's go ahead and do step back burpees. The thing I love most about step back burpees is they hit everything at once. So instead of making this a dynamic, we're going to make this a very slow, grindy kind of movement, stepping back, engaging that plank on the way forward, driving those hips open, getting that nice hinge and that hamstring stretch, and working the plank and the push-up. By the time you've done about 15 of these, everything is ready. Now again, it's your choice, so let's go ahead and start those 2 minutes now. With the cardio out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the dynamic warm-up. Today's 4 movements will work at getting the hips open and the shoulders ready for today's workout. Starting with the Samson stretch. Let's go ahead and lunge forward, keep that back knee off the ground, interlace the fingers and push hard to the ceiling. You should feel a big stretch from the left hip all the way up to the shoulders. Go ahead and alternate for 10. Next, the active glute stretch. Let's work on the balance as much as we work on getting that glute open. Go ahead and cross the leg, drift back slightly. The tighter your hamstrings and glutes, the less that you'll have to bend to get action out of this. If balance is an issue, go ahead and lay on your back and perform this on your back. Next, from a plank position, we have 10 Spider-Man. Drive right foot to right hand. Drop right elbow to the ground, dropping the chest, opening up the hip, staying here for a half a second before moving on. And last, the twisted cross. From a prone position, you're going to bring your right hand to right armpit before pressing into your left shoulder, driving right foot across the back of the body for a little bit of torque. Don't push too hard in the opening reps of this. Let those shoulders open up naturally, provide just a little assistance with this movement. And as always, if there's something that you've stumbled upon in other classes that works just as well, let's go ahead and add it. You can't overactivate and you have the time. I'll see you at the next section. Today's activation movements work at getting the hips stable, the core stable, and the shoulders open for today's strength. Starting with 10 knee-up ankle rotations. Finding that balance point, bringing the right knee up to the right hip under its own power. Let's go ahead and rotate the foot clockwise and counterclockwise, and then switch. We'll do this for a total of 10. Next, the jumping lunge. This is meant to get a lot of snap out of the hips. Let's go ahead and start from a lunging position. You're going to go ahead and fast acceleration on the way up. Catch yourself, slow deceleration on the way down. We're going to go 5 each leg. And last, to make sure that that core is strong and that back is stable, 10 bird dogs. From a tabletop position, putting the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, we're going to alternate by driving right foot and left hand out in opposition. The real key here is making sure that the hips don't drop or move left or right. Now, as always, we've got 2 rounds of this. Take your time. If you need a little bit extra, go ahead and use it, and we'll see you at the next section. Today's strength focuses on developing our Olympic weightlifting skills. Usually when we think of Olympic weightlifting, we think barbell or dowel if we have to. But I will tell you, today's workout lends itself really well to training with dumbbells and kettlebells. So don't feel left out if you don't have access to a barbell. We're going to do a complex of muscle cleans and jerk balances. Starting off, we're going to warm up our shoulders with a standard split jerk warm-up. Starting with the strict press, 5 or 5 each side. Make sure the feet are directly under the hips, core is totally engaged, shoulder blades back, pressing directly overhead. Use this movement to get the shoulders nice and open. Next, we're going to bring the hips into this party. Dip, drive, feeling the eccentric movement of the hips, pushing the bell or the dumbbell or the kettlebell off the shoulders. 5 or 5 each side. Next, we're going to work that jerk in, that re-dip. So again, starting off, feet under hips, quick dip, let the bell travel up, drop under it, pause for just a second. Really get good at this. 5. Next, we're going to go ahead and throw that front foot out for 5 split jerks. The purpose of the split jerk is to make sure that you can get really far under the bar, because as the weight gets heavier, it's not going to go up quite as high. Moving on to the jerk balance. This is meant to make sure that our hips are lively as we try to get under the bar. Go ahead and lunge that front foot forward and quick hip drive and shoot that foot out another 3 or 4 inches. You're going to pause this one, catching in the overhead position before returning back to neutral. And last, we're going to put everything together for 5 split jerk. Starting with the feet under the hips, quick dip, drive, split, catch that front foot, bringing that front foot back and having the back foot come up to meet it to return to neutral. Now, if it takes a couple more reps than we've given you, go ahead and rewatch the video and take your time. The better you get at it during the warm-up, the easier it's going to be in the workout. Now, for the meat of our workout, we have an Olympic lifting skill complex. We're going to pair muscle cleans with jerk balances. Your weight today is going to be determined by what you can muscle clean. Anything that you can get up without a re-dip is probably going to be in the weight category that you can hit a push press or a push jerk. So, watching Coach Devin, bar starts at neutral, either on the ground if you have plates, mid-shin if you don't. If you're using a dumbbell, let's go ahead and start it down on the ground with one head touching. You're going to bring it up to the knees, quick drive with the hips, no rebend on this one. This is going to go directly into 3 jerk balance. From here, go ahead and lunge forward, not the deepest lunge you've ever done. Quick dip, drive, shoot that foot forward, and hold that catch position at the end. We're going to hold it for about 2 or 3 seconds in each one before bringing the bell back down to our shoulders and hopping ourselves back about 6 inches. For these 3 reps, you're never going to come back to neutral. Now, a quick tip on this. This isn't a CrossFit WOD, and it's not something that we're looking at gaining skill on both sides. So if you have a dominant foot, that is going to be your split jerk forward foot. Don't worry about trying to switch it up. There's really no need. This is a 2-minute drill. So you've got 1 muscle clean, 3 jerk balances within those 2 minutes. If the weight is a little bit light, let's go ahead and cycle it and do 2 rounds of this every 2 minutes. But we've got 6 rounds of it. Let's go ahead and set our 2-minute timer, begin, and we'll see you at the next section. Today's workout, death by clean and jerk, don't pause the video, is a 1-minute ladder that we are going to go until failure. How death bys work is you start with 1 repetition of something fairly hard, and each minute you add a repetition until you can no longer get the work done within the minute. If we were doing death by burpees, might get up to 20, but on death by clean and jerk, because of the weight, the skill, and the reset time, we might be looking at anywhere from 8 to 14. Beasts will get between 14 and 20 if they're lucky. So let's go ahead and warm up the power clean, starting with the bar on the ground, gliding in that first position until you get just above the knees, violent extension of the hips, shoot those elbows through, catch in a slight squat, finish off by standing, reset the feet, and for that jerk. We're going to go for a push jerk, so no need to split here. Quick dip, drive, and redip. Again, you're dipping to get energy, driving to get the bar off your shoulders, and re-dipping so that your arms don't have to do all the work. In the opening rounds of this movement, you're going to be 3, 2, 1, opening rounds. In the opening rounds of this workout, it's going to seem like it should be fairly easy. This probably will not start to stack up until minute 5. What I'm asking you to do is in those first few minutes, because you have that time, treat it like you're warming up for an Olympic weightlifting meet. If you can get the reps perfect early on, then when time gets tight and your reps get sloppy, they're not going to get that sloppy. The intention of this workout is 100% mental. You're going to get a lot of work, your heart rate's going to get up, but there's going to be a time where that little voice inside you says, you're done. And you'll look up and there may be 10 seconds more. Go ahead and work through it. If you tap out early, go ahead and take a minute off and come back in. It's not going to count towards your official score, but you will get a better workout. Today's playlist choice should be something that allows your mind to focus. It should not be something that gets all of your adrenaline dumping on this one, because skill will go out the window. All right, let's get that playlist set. Get that barbell or dumbbell or kettlebell ready, and begin in 3, 2, 1, go.